Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you my 2024 reading journal. I know it's a bit late than what other people usually do, and kind of just decided last minute to do a flip through of my finished journal. There are a couple of things that I still need to add, but for the most part this journal is already finished. So this journal was gifted to me by my sister. She ended up going on a trip to London and ended up bringing it back for me. I had it in my stash for a while before I decided what to use it for. And by the end of 2023, I realized that I was reading a lot more books than I had been reading the past couple of years. So for 2024, I decided to do a reading journal. And here's the main cover page. I wrote down reading and media journal because I wanted to keep track of any books that I was reading and also any TV shows or movies that I was enjoying at that time too. The main focus of this cover page is this sticker here. I knew I wanted to use the golds, the blues, and the purples in it. Then I added a couple of stickers and washi tapes here. And then I have the year 2024. This page here is where I wrote down all the books that I ended up reading in 2024. I actually didn't have enough space for all the books that I ended up reading, so later on you'll see another spread where I continued the list. So here I have the name of the book and the name of the author. I was trying to put the star rating, but then I dropped that quickly and I just continued with the name of the book and the author's name. So for 2024, my goal was to read 20 books. I ended up reading more than 20 books, as you can see, and I actually have another page where I had to draw a couple of more boxes to complete it. For each month, I use a different marker to just see the difference of how many books I read throughout each month. And then the next page here is a series tracker. So all of these are new series that I started in 2024. I'm pretty sure I have a couple of more. It's just I didn't have enough space and I didn't create another spread for them. So this year I started to read the Empyrean series, Throne of Glass, Letters of Enchantment, the Folk of Air series, Heartstopper, the Powerless trilogy, Tempress, the Infatuated Fae, and the Shepherd's King duology. This spread here has all my monthly favorites. So every month I ended up picking whichever one was my favorite out of that month and I put them here. And you can see that I have January, February, March, April, and so forth all the way down. So this here is my TBR page. This is where I would write down any recommendations that I would get either from Instagram or people that I would see on YouTube or from real life. I would write down their recommendations here. So this here is a list of the shows that I finished in 2024. Most of these are Korean dramas and a few of them are animes. This is the list of movies. I didn't watch a lot of movies, or I didn't keep up with this one that much. I think mostly I was watching Korean dramas and reading, so I didn't get to see a lot of movies. Here I was supposed to put my favorite TV show and favorite movie. This is one of those pages where I said I knew I was still missing, and I'll probably fill it out, but I'm not sure. I haven't picked which one is my favorite out of 2024 yet. So this is a continuation of my reading goals. As you can see, I have a total of 55 books read, and I continued the list over here as well. So let me flip back my reading goals. We have here, and then we have this page where I continued. So this is my first page that I created for January. You're gonna see throughout the months how different my cover pages end up looking. You can tell I was just still trying to figure it out, but I think it still came out cute for my first try. And I know that I was really nervous when I was making this one, but you know, you can see your progress in these, and that's what I love. And I end up seeing the progress that I made. So just a full disclaimer, if you do decide to pause and read what I wrote, there will be spoilers for the books, because this is where I write down all my thoughts, my feelings, and you will most likely have spoilers here. These are some of the dramas, K-dramas that I ended up watching. Here's my February cover. These are stickers actually from Five Below. I got them as a gift, I believe, but I'm pretty sure I saw a couple of this style of stickers there. Some more K-dramas. I really like all these sea and blue stickers. Fourth Wing, oh my gosh. So this was the beginning of my journey with Fourth Wing. I am one of those people that absolutely adores Fourth Wing. I know there's people that do not like it at all. They think it's not a good book, but let me tell you, when I was reading this book, I was in it. I was in it. I couldn't put it down. I really, really loved it. I loved it so much that I actually went online and got stickers that pertain to the book. And this is the only series I think that I did that for. Everything else is just stickers that I have at home or things that I've collected. But for Fourth Wing, I really wanted stickers that had to do something with the book. I love it. And I actually think the spread came out really pretty. Here we have March. I love these little bird ones. I think these are from Stikki. That's when I believe I started my subscription with Stikki either February or March, and that's when I started getting their stickers and incorporating them more in my journals. My Hero Academia, season 6, Call It Love. This was actually a K-drama, but I forgot to print out the cover for it, so it looks a little weird, but they're two separate spreads. And here we have Iron Flame. I love this book as well. Actually, I didn't mention Fourth Wing was my first 5-star read. I forgot to mention that. I gave it 5 stars. But for Iron Flame, this was a 4-star for me. There were a couple of things that were repetitive, but certain things could have been avoided if people just talk to each other and communicate. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to spoil anything, since it is the second book. And then I continued using the stickers that I got for Fourth Wing for this one. And we have April. Oh, so here's April's when I started my Throne of Glass journey. I know a lot of people love Throne of Glass. I'm still not done. I still have 3 more books left in the series. But let me tell you, when you read Throne of Glass, the first book, I didn't love it. I gave it a 2-star, as you can see. But there was just something about it that made me want to continue to read the series. And I know so many people love the series. But when you read Throne of Glass, it's kind of like a little meh. I didn't find it that interesting. But there was something about it that still intrigued me, and I was like, you know what, okay, let me just continue. And I did continue the series, and honestly, I think it does get better. and I'll let you know what books I think made the series for me and made me really interested in the series. And then we have Powerless. I know a lot of people don't like Powerless. I ended up enjoying it. I listened to the audiobook, and I think the male narrator really drove the story for me. Crown of Midnight, I gave this one 3 stars. This one was still a little meh, but I was pushing through. Impossible Air, this is another K-drama. And then we have May. Okay, so here we have another one for the Throne of Glass series. This is the Assassin's Blade and Heir of Fire. The Assassin's Blade, I ended up reading it, and this is the book that made me interested in the series. This is actually a prequel to Throne of Glass, and I don't, like I said before, I don't want to spoil anything because you have to just go through it yourself. But when I read The Assassin's Blade, this was the one that made me more interested in the series and made me want to continue the series. And you can see here I ended up picking Heir of Fire right after. And these stickers are from Stikki. I love them. They're so pretty. Queen of Tears, another K-drama. Avatar: The Last Airbender. This, I finally finished the series, and I thought it was so cute. I'm so happy that I finally got to finish it. Here we have June. Okay, so Queen of Shadows here. This is my second 5-star read. I love this book. There was just something about it that this is the reason why you have to push through all the first 2 books basically. I feel like the first 2 books, you're getting introduced to the characters, you get introduced to the story, and you're figuring out why certain things are happening. And then the next 2, you get a little bit deeper information on the characters. And this one just really hits, like, I don't know, there was something about this one that just was so interesting to me. I even picked out a few quotes because I didn't have enough room. But yes, I really love this one. Alchemy of Souls. Oh my god, I cannot believe it took me so long to watch this drama. This drama, oh my gosh, it was so good. It had me in tears at certain points. If you like period dramas with a little bit of action, a little bit of romance, some magic, check this one out if you haven't already. It's so good. It was so good that I didn't watch any K-dramas after it because I was just too in the story of this one. I just couldn't pick up another drama after this for a while. I think this is one of my favorite layouts. I really love the purple and the script. And this is for Charlotte's Part 1 and Part 2, part of the Tempers series. These are pretty cool. The magic system is actually very interesting in this one. We got August here. We have Little Mermaid theme. Funny Story is the 3rd book that I gave 5-star. There was just something about this book that I loved. Everything about it, from the female, the FMC to the MMC, and the friendships, and just the story behind it. I think it was very interesting, but it was a really good book. I love this one. So this was for September. I didn't write down September here, but this was for the the magical readathon that's hosted by G from Book Roast. So I just ended up using the paper that she provides for the readathon. And I never gave myself a name, I need to find a name for my character. This is my first time joining, so I had to do a lot of like catching up essentially. So I had to figure out, you know, what my background is, my province, my heritage, my lunar phase. I ended up picking Elf as my character. I kind of just used the books that I read throughout the year to fulfill these prompts. So for example, for you to pick your background, which was a wildling, you would have to read a book largely set in the forest or outside. So I ended up picking Air of Fire. For your province, you had to read a book that features Fae, and I picked Queen of Shadows. And then for your heritage, you have to pick or read a book that has moon or stars on the cover or title. So I picked The Fault in Our Stars. So here you have the province and with a little background. This is the college, a little picture. This is the order that I was part of. I was part of Order of the Crescent, and here you have a little bit of the description. And in order for you to get your conduit, you would have to read a book with the word hunt in the title. So I picked The Great Hunt. I still haven't picked a familiar, so I need to figure out what kind of familiar I want and read a book that has that on the cover so I can pick one. And for the calling, I ended up picking Beastmaster. So I didn't join the spring equinox, but I joined the autumn equinox. But what I did was, for the spring, I ended up using books that I had read throughout the month, throughout the year, to fulfill those prompts. So for example, here, for you to finish your spring equinox, you had to read something with the source of light, yellow in the title, circle on the cover, book you think could cure a slump, and then you had to read The Legend of Dia. I believe that's how you say it. So these are books that I had read throughout the month, and I ended up picking those. And then these were the actual books I ended up reading in September. So for restoration, I needed something with a night sky and then a poisonous plant on the cover. For elemental studies, you needed something with your favorite scent. I love the smell or the scent of lemons. For alchemy, you needed to read something that would make you emotional. I read this anime. For animal studies, you needed to read something with a phoenix on the cover, a standalone, and a book that had a cover change. So I ended up reading The Phoenix and the Carpet, Deal with the Elf King, and Midnight at the Electric. And then here, G from Book Roast hosted a live stream, and based on that live stream, she ended up giving us points for certain things that she was saying. So if you ate a fruit that day, she gave you 5 points. If you're part of the Order of the Crescent, which I am, she gave you 10 points. If you ended up singing a song that day, she ended up giving you 5 points. So within that live stream, I was able to get 97 points in total. And then this is the year in Eldia. So each month she gives you a prompt, and based on that prompt, whichever prompt you pick leads you to another course, and you find your way to the end. These are all the books that I ended up reading for the year. I need to print out a copy of Heartstopper. That was my book for November. And then I have my little review pages here. And we have October, little spooky season. Also for October, I ended up joining Becca's Spook-Uplathon. So this one is basically you're playing Monopoly. You roll the die, and based on where you land is what you end up reading. So I think the first one was here, a book you should have read and has been on your TBR, Queen of Nothing. was the second book of the Cruel Prince series. Reckless, this was a book you have been saving for a rainy day. I've been wanting to read Reckless, which is the part 2 from Powerless. And then here you have read a book you are interested but not sure you will like, Butcher and Blackbird. Read a book with vampires, Too Sweet, anything you find spooky, The Wicked Deep. And then most recent acquired, What Did You Do? So those were the books that I ended up reading for the Spookathon. We have November here. Wanted to keep it very cozy. I think I went a little too crazy on the stickers here, but it's okay. I think it still came out cute. Oh, this is when I saw Mr. Plankton. Was this the next drama that I watched after Alchemy of Souls? I think that might have been the next one. So it took me a while to see another drama. That's how much Alchemy of Souls left me in another world. It took me this long, all the way until November, to watch another K-drama. Actually, on True Beauty. I ended up watching True Beauty as well. I forgot about that one. But I think I watched Mr. Plankton and then I watched True Beauty after that. We have December. Wanted to keep it very simple with a couple of sticky stickers. I read One Dark Window finally. I had been wanting to read that one since a lot of people loved it. Part of Your World, definitely 5-star. I love that one. Then we have Heartstopper. I watched My Lovely Liar. And I finally got to see Are You Sure with Jimin and JK. For the month of December, I ended up joining another readathon from G from Book Rose. She has what is called Lightfall, and she had basically prompts that you would pick from, and then you just pick a book. So let's see what we got here. So for one of them, you have book set in an alternate world. I picked One Dark Window, a cozy read, Heartstopper Volume 2, Gives You Chills, Princess for Christmas. This one is Aurora Colors on the cover. I picked Kiss Her Once. 2 or More Authors, A Merry Meet Cute, Need to Read by the End of Year, Part of Your World, and Winter Elements on the cover, 12 Dates of Christmas. So those were my picks for Lightfall. Okay, so that is the end of my reading journal, and in the back I have a couple of stats. So here I have my top 10 reads. So we have Fourth Wing, number 1, Queen of Shadows, number 2, then Iron Flame, Part of Your World, A Court of Silver Flames, Funny Story, Air of Fire, Heartless Hunter, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, and Divine Rivals. And then here we have another page that is my wrap up. It's not as cute. I just kind of wrote down little things here and there. So I read a total of 55 books, 21,000 pages. The first book that I read was Talking at Night. The last book I read was Kiss Her Once for Me. I cannot believe that I only gave 4 books 5 stars. Like, why? I don't understand. I read so many good books, but we're very strict with my 5 stars apparently. So I gave Fourth Wing, Queen of Shadows, Funny Story, and Part of Your World. Those were the only ones that I gave 5 stars. The longest book that I read was A Court of Silver Flames. Shortest book was Below Zero. most pages read was in September. Go figure. That's when the Magical Readathon was hosted. The main genres are romance, fantasy, young adult, and contemporary. Average time to finish a book was 6 days, and the most read author was Sarah J. Maas. So if you're wondering where I got these stats from, is from Storygraph. I put all my books that I read in Storygraph, and then at the end of the year, Storygraph gives you a little review of what you ended up reading for the last year. This was my first time doing a reading journal. I am so proud of myself for actually completing a reading journal. I did not think that I was going to read 55 books in 1 year. Mind you, I have been reading for a while, but I usually read maybe 4 to 5 books in a year before. So to read a total of 55 books is pretty crazy to me. I'm super excited to continue with my 2025 journal. So if you guys are interested, you can see a flip through of my 2025 journal. I'll link it down below. Alrighty y'all, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye.